I don't like to pour on anybody. I don't like to pile on anybody, right? At the same time, this story just keeps evolving, and every layer to me is educational at the least, or it could be one of those things that you learn from if you're just looking at Ja Morant like, wow, I'm your biggest supporter, but damn, dog, what is going on? They say when it rains, it pours, right? Well, it was raining dollar bills as we saw at the strip club in Denver, but this is not a good rain for Ja Morant. Coca-Cola just pulled Ja Morant's Powerade ads. Wow. Coca-Cola has pulled its ads for Powerade amid a suspension. Companies remove all the marketing material from Ja and his social media when he flashed a gun. Now, he was set to market a $10 million campaign this year with the first national television ad to air on March 14th, tomorrow. However, after that Instagram and the gun, pulled all of that and the strip club photos. Steven Jackson weighed in on this. I love this part. Let's talk through it. What his thoughts about it after seeing that Ja Morant went to the strip club and they said he dropped $50,000 according to the New York Post. All right. He said, if anybody from my era that's trying to talk down on Ja, 80% of us would have been in the media, or if we played in the clout-chasing era. Basically, we would have been in trouble like Ja. Jackson expressed that in his video. Interesting. He said, because all of us was partying in the strip clubs, doing the same Ja was doing, and 10 times worse. Interesting. I want to go there, and I've been posed with this question 1,000 times. What happened, Marcellus? What would have happened if social media was around when you played? The good of it, I would be like, dog, I would have had millions and millions of followers because I was a fool. Like, I lived my life outwardly. Like, I let everybody see my life. I had the biggest parties. I used to get articles written about events I would throw. I DJ'd. I'm DJing for Outkast. You think that ain't gonna pop on Instagram when I'm playing for the Chargers? All that kind of stuff. Kanye West, etc. However, there was a flip side to that conversation as well. Like, damn, would they have caught me slipping? And I always say yes, and then I get slapped in the head by the fact that, hold on, in every era, there's a bell curve in terms of how you are acting, in terms of your responsibility. Be real. And I think that Steven got this one off just a little bit. The bell curve is 80-10-10. 80% of the people will be just fine. 80% of the athletes would just go ball, go home, whatever that may be, stay out of the media's eye in a negative way. 10% will be goody two-shoes, right? Like, oh my God, media darlings, we love this guy. This guy could do no wrong. And then there's going to be 10% that you're always talking about, can't get right. It seems like every era has been that way, including this era, right? You could say 80% of the guys, let's say SGA, right? Who talks about SGA, right? Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Nobody talks about him, really. He just balls. All right, he's in the 80%. Then there's a 10% that could do no wrong, it seems, like a Steph Curry or something. Like, oh my God, we love you, Steph. We live next door to you. You're the guy next door, right? And then there's now a 10% that Ja Morant has become the poster child of, that it just seems like they can't get right. But wasn't that the era before, too? We've seen that all the way through. You name the names. You know what bucket they existed in, right? So I disagree with Steven in that respect. And when I played, I was a fool. But what kept me in line were the rules, were the restrictions, were the borders, were the parameters. And I was a fool, but I didn't cross that line, or I didn't get caught. Steven Jackson crossed that line, different incidents, and got caught, right? But there were other guys who, like Steven even admitted, I was around a gang of us that acted like that. But how come we all don't have the same reputation as you? See, this is why I love this show. Because I love Steven Jackson. That's my dog. And he says something that we all nod at the first listen. Like, yeah, he right. It was a lot of knuckleheads. But how come all those knuckleheads don't have the same reputation? How come all those knuckleheads didn't get caught? There's something about knowing what you can't do, which makes a lot of people, way more than you think, know what to do. And that's how I was. I'm going to the line, but am I going to cross the line? Hell no. And I wasn't alone. So today's NBA, today's NFL, them dudes act up. I know a lot of those active players. They act up. But then There's a guy who acts even crazier than him, and that's the one that gets caught up, right? 9 times out of 10 is just because you did too much. The other time is maybe you got set up. Maybe, hey, it was just a bad luck of the draw that day. But most of the time, you habitually step over that line. Charlie Murphy, right? Habitual line stepper. Hey, dog, you better slow down. I always tell people this. The universe whispers before it yells. That will be a Wileyism one day, but let me get into it real quick. The universe whispers before it yells. How many times you ever got caught doing something? Now reverse engineer that, go backwards. You kind of got some hints. You kind of got some whispers. You got some reminders like, hey, let me hip you to this. Chill out. Whatever it may have been, and you just blew past that stop sign, right? I'm going to go past that stop sign, and then wow, that's when the universe yells. I'm just saying with this situation, because look how it goes. Ja Morant gets caught with the incident in the strip club now, but you go back before the strip club, it was Ja Morant having issues with his mom and at the Foot Locker, whatever it may be, and Finish Line it was. And then Ja Morant went to a sister's volleyball game, and then Ja Morant had an issue with a little kid on the court at his house. You see all those whispers that we didn't even hear about. But when the universe started yelling, all of a sudden all those whispers start getting counted up and tallied. Just a reminder to all of us, man, live your life. We know the rules. We know the borders. Do your damn best to have as much fun as you can within them. I had a ball yesterday at that day party. Didn't cross the line. I told that fine girl to get up faster than Tyreek Hill could. Because if not, the universe is going to be yelling at your boy. And I wouldn't be here today.